Princess Lariah stood in the center of the Grand Conclave Hall on Elithar Prime. The hall was massive. Tall crystal pillars rose high above, catching the light and throwing rainbows across the floor. Thousands of Elithari nobles sat in rows. Their skin glowed in calm colors: soft blue, gentle green, warm violet. They wore fine robes that shimmered like water. Lariah's skin usually matched the bright silver blue of a clear dawn sky. Today it looked faded and dull, almost gray. Heavy metal chains locked her wrists together. Two tall guards in dark armor stood close beside her. Their faces showed no feeling. On the high platform sat the 7 high matriarchs. They were the true rulers of the Dominion. Each wore a crown made of living crystal that pulsed with inner light. In the middle sat Matriarch Silara. Her eyes were sharp and cold, like ice under starlight. Next to the matriarchs stood Prince Vexar, Lariah's younger brother. His skin shone bright gold, the color chosen by those who would one day rule. A new crown rested on his head, the crown that had once been meant for Lariah. He looked calm, but the small smile on his lips showed his true thoughts. A herald's voice rang out across the hall. "The conclave begins. Princess Lariah stands accused of high treason." Low whispers spread through the crowd like wind over leaves. Some nobles leaned forward, others sat very still. Matriarch Silara raised one long, elegant hand. The hall became silent at once. "Lariah," she said. Her voice was clear and strong. "You spoke before this council. You said the Dominion should seek peace with the new species called humans. You said we should open trade. You said we should not send fleets to claim their worlds. You called conquest unwise." Lariah lifted her head. The chains clinked softly. "I spoke the truth," she answered. "The humans are young among the stars. Their ships are few. Their weapons are simple compared to ours. But they fight hard. They learn fast. War with them would waste lives and ships. Peace would bring new knowledge, new resources, new friends." More whispers rose. A few older nobles nodded slowly, as if they had thought the same thing once. Most faces turned hard. Vexar stepped forward. His gold skin flared brighter for a moment. "Friends," he said with a laugh that cut like a blade, "these humans are primitives. They still use chemical rockets in some places. They die in their own small wars. They spread like insects across their little blue world. We are Elithari. We have ruled for 10,000 years. We do not make friends with insects." Lariah looked straight at her brother. "They reach the stars on their own, without help from anyone. That takes strength, real strength, not just weapons." Vexar's smile vanished. "You shame our name. You shame our blood. Our ancestors took worlds because they were strong enough to take them. That is our way." Matriarch Silara spoke again. "We have heard enough. The vote is complete. Lariah is stripped of her title as princess. She loses all claim to the throne. She loses all rights of royalty. She will be exiled to the frontier world of Korath VI. There, she will serve as labor in the isotope mines for the rest of her days." A shock ran through the hall. Gasps, soft cries. Korath VI was a punishment worse than death for most Elithari. The air hurt the lungs. Storms of sharp dust never stopped. The mines were deep, dark, and cruel. Many who went there never came back. Lariah felt something inside her break. Her skin darkened further until it was almost black. No glow, no light. Among her people, this was the deepest sign of despair and shame. Guards pulled on her chains. They marched her forward down the long central aisle. Faces she had known since childhood turned away. Friends from the old days stared at their feet. Allies she had trusted looked somewhere else. No one spoke. No one stood up. As she passed, a few voices hissed, "Traitor!" Others whispered, "She was always too soft." One old noble, a teacher from her childhood, wiped a tear, but he did not move. At the huge doors of carved crystal, Lariah paused for one heartbeat. She looked back. Vexar now sat in the place that had been hers. The crown looked almost too big for him, but he sat straight and proud. The hall cheered for their new heir. The doors boomed shut behind her. Outside, the city of Elethar Prime sparkled under a perfect purple sky. Graceful ships drifted silently overhead. Towers of crystal caught every color of light. It was the most beautiful place in the Dominion. It was also a cage. The guards took her to a small plane shuttle, waiting on a private platform. No royal banners. Just cold metal and one tiny window. They locked her chains to a bench. One guard said, "No trouble." Then they left her alone. The shuttle lifted off quietly. Through the window, Elethar Prime grew smaller. The shining spires became points of light. Then the ship jumped into faster-than-light travel. Stars stretched into bright lines outside. Lariah sat in silence. Tears fell from her eyes. They glowed weakly for a moment, then faded. She thought of her mother, dead many years now. Her mother had held her close and said, "True power is not in ruling others. True power is in protecting what is right." Lariah had believed those words. She had tried to live by them. Now she felt only cold emptiness. The shuttle flew on through endless black. 3 days to Korath 6. 3 days to a world of pain and dust. 3 days to a life without light or hope. The chains felt heavier than ever. Far across the galaxy, on a different world, a human named Kai Reyes looked at a contract screen. It was for security work on Korath 6. Dangerous, low pay, but steady. He was tired of big wars. He signed his name without much thought. He had no idea an exiled princess would soon cross his path. He had no idea someone would need him to stand beside her. But sometimes the stars move in quiet ways, and sometimes a small act changes everything. The shuttle landed hard on Korath V. Dust flew up in thick clouds that stung the eyes and burned the throat. The sky was a dull orange-brown color. No birds flew. No plants grew tall. Only low, twisted shrubs clung to the cracked ground. Wind howled between jagged black rocks. The rear door opened with a loud hiss. 2 Elethari guards pushed Lariah out. Her chains rattled as her bare feet hit the hot, sharp sand. They did not remove the cuffs. One guard pressed a button on a small device. The chains unlocked from her wrists, but stayed locked around her ankles. A thin metal line connected them. She could walk, but not run. "Move," the guard said. He pointed to a long line of workers walking toward the mine entrance. They wore gray rags. Their faces were covered in dust masks. Most were Elethari prisoners or aliens from poor worlds. A few humans mixed in, heads down, shoulders bent. Lariah started walking. Each step hurt. Her skin, once bright silver blue, stayed dark and dull. She felt empty inside. At the mine gate, a tall Elethari overseer waited. His name was Torv. He wore clean black armor. A whip hung from his belt. He looked at Lariah with cold eyes. "Princess," he said with a fake smile. "Welcome to your new home. You will work in Shaft 7. Deep, hot, dangerous. If you slow down, you will feel the whip. If you try to escape, you will die." Lariah said nothing. She kept her head high. Torv laughed. "No words? Good. Words will not help you here." He waved to a guard. They took her to a small tool shed. Inside they gave her a heavy pickaxe, a cracked helmet with a weak light, and a dust mask that smelled bad. Then they marched her to the lift. The lift went down for a long time. Darkness swallowed them. The air grew thick and hot. Sweat ran down Lariah's face. When the lift stopped, they pushed her into a narrow tunnel. Other workers swung picks at the rock walls. Sparks flew. The The sound echoed like thunder. Torv pointed to a corner. Start there. Break the rock. Fill the cart. Do not stop until the bell rings. Lariah lifted the pickaxe. It felt too heavy. She had never done hard work like this. Her hands were soft from years in palaces. The first swing barely chipped the stone. Her arms shook. Behind her, a human voice spoke low. Use your legs, not just your arms. Bend your knees. Let your body do the work. Lariah turned. A human man stood nearby. He was tall for a human, with short dark hair and scars on his face. He wore old armor patched many times. A big rifle hung on his back. Dust covered everything, but his eyes were sharp and calm. Who are you? Lariah asked. Sergeant Kai Reyes, Private Security. My team guards the independent mine next door, the one the Dominion wants to take. Lariah looked away. I do not need help. Kai shrugged. Didn't offer any. Just advice. You swing like that, you'll break your hands before the end of the day. He walked away. Lariah watched him go. Then she tried again. This time, she bent her knees. The pick hit harder. A small piece of rock fell. It felt like a tiny victory. Hours passed. Her arms burned. Her back hurt. Dust filled her lungs, even through the mask. When the bell rang, workers dropped their tools and moved to the lift. Lariah followed slowly. Outside, night had fallen. The air was still hot. Torv stood at the gate with 2 armed Elithari. He pointed at Lariah. You, come here. She walked over. Torv smiled again. The independent human mine next to ours has good veins. We want them. Tomorrow we take the claim. You will help. You will stand in front and tell the humans to leave. If they fight, you die first. A nice message to your old friends in the court. Lariah felt cold. I will not. Torv's smile disappeared. He grabbed her arm. You will, or I make your life worse than it already is. He pushed her toward a small building where workers slept. Inside, it was dark and crowded. Lariah found a corner and sat on the hard floor. She pulled her knees up and closed her eyes. Sleep did not come. The next morning started early. Torv pulled Lariah out before the bell. He marched her across the dusty ground to the border between the 2 mines. A simple fence of wire and posts marked the line. On the other side, humans worked. They had better tools. Lights shone bright. A few wore real armor. Torv stopped. There, see the humans? You will walk over and tell them the Dominion claims this land now. Say it loud. Lariah shook her head. No. Torv raised his whip. Before it fell, a voice cut through the air. Touch her again, and you lose the hand. Kai Reyes stepped out from behind a rock pile. He held his plasma repeater steady. Behind him, 4 other humans appeared on the ridge. They carried heavy weapons. Their faces were hard. Torv laughed. A few humans? You think you can stop us? Kai did not smile. I think you should ask yourself if the Dominion cares enough to send ships for a dead overseer. They sent her here to die quietly. If you kill her now, in front of witnesses, it looks bad. People talk. Questions get asked. Maybe even humans get angry. Torv looked at his guards, then at the ridge. The humans did not move. Their weapons stayed ready. Kai took 1 step forward. She is under human contract now. We hired her as a consultant, mineral expert. Her skills belong to us. You want her? Come take her. The wind blew dust between them. No one spoke for a long moment. Torv lowered the whip. This is not over, he said. He turned and walked back with his guards. Kai lowered his rifle. He looked at Lariah. You okay? She stared at him. Why did you do that? Kai shrugged. Didn't like the look on his face. And we really could use someone who knows Elithari mining tech. Your eyes see better in the dark than ours. You spot veins we miss. Lariah looked down at the chains on her ankles. I am a prisoner. Not anymore, Kai said. He pulled a small tool from his belt. It hummed softly. He touched it to the ankle cuffs. They clicked open and fell to the ground. Lariah rubbed her ankles. Red marks showed where the metal had bitten her skin. She looked up at Kai. For the first time in weeks, a tiny spark of light moved under her dark skin. Come on, Kai said. We have coffee that doesn't taste like dirt, and real food. You look like you haven't eaten in days. He started walking toward the human camp. Lariah hesitated. Then she followed. Behind her, Torv watched from far away. His face was angry. He spoke into a comm device. Tell the prince, the traitor lives, and humans protect her. The message flew into space. Far above, on a fast ship, Prince Vexar listened. His gold skin flared bright with rage. So, he whispered, my sister finds friends among the primitives. He smiled a cold smile. Good. Let them stand together. It will make their fall so much sweeter. The human camp was small, but strong. Metal walls rose around it like a shield. Lights stayed on all night. Generators hummed softly. Inside the main tent, tables held real food. Dried meat, bread, packets of hot sauce. The smell hit Lariah hard. She had not eaten anything warm in weeks. Kai pointed to a bench. Sit. Eat slow. Your stomach isn't used to it. Lariah sat. She took a small piece of bread. It tasted strange but good. She chewed carefully. Around her, humans talked in low voices. They laughed sometimes. No one stared at her like she was broken. No one bowed. They just worked. A woman with short red hair walked over. Her name was Mara. She carried a med kit. I'm the medic. Let me see those hands. Lariah held them out. Blisters covered her palms. Some had broken and bled. Mara cleaned them with something that stung, then put on soft bandages. You'll heal fast, Mara said. Elithari skin is tough. Just don't swing that pick like you're trying to kill the planet. Lariah looked at her. Why do you help me? Mara shrugged. Kai says you're useful. And I don't like bullies. Torv and his kind make me sick. Kai sat across from Lariah with a cup of black coffee. We need you tomorrow. The deep vein in Shaft 4 is rich in isotopes. Our scanners miss half of it. Your eyes can see the glow patterns better than any machine we have. Lariah nodded slowly. I can try. The next day started before dawn. Lariah walked with Kai and 3 others into the human mine. No chains, no overseer shouting. Just quiet steps and helmet lights cutting through the dark. The tunnel was wider than the Dominion side. Supports looked stronger. Air smelled cleaner. Kai handed her a small scanner. Point it where you think the vein runs. Tell us what you see. Lariah looked at the rock wall. Her Elithari eyes adjusted fast. Faint blue lines glowed in the stone. Patterns humans could not see. She pointed. There. And there. The main vein curves left, then down. Kai marked the spots with bright paint. Good. That's twice what our gear showed. They worked for hours. Lariah forgot the pain in her hands. She forgot the dust for a while. When they stopped for water, Kai sat next to her. You're good at this, he said. I studied geology before everything, she answered. I wanted to help worlds, not just take them. Kai nodded. We want the same, just different ways. That night, alarms screamed across the camp. Red lights flashed. Voices shouted over comms. Pirates, 3 ships incoming, fast attack. Everyone moved at once. Humans grabbed weapons. They ran to positions on the ridges. Kai pulled Lariah toward the armory tent. Stay low, he said. You don't have to fight. Lariah looked at the chaos. If I hide, they will kill everyone here. Including you. Kai stared at her for a second. Then he handed her a short, heavy pistol. It's a slug thrower. Simple. Point and pull. No fancy energy settings, just lead and fire. Lariah took it. The grip felt strange in her hand. She had trained with elegant energy blades, light, fast, perfect for duels in bright halls. This gun was ugly and heavy. Kai led her to a low wall of sandbags near the main gate. Cover here. Shoot anything that comes through the fence. The pirate ships landed hard outside the camp. Dust clouds rose high. Doors opened. Rough-looking aliens jumped out, scaled, horned, some with cybernetic arms. They carried big rifles and blades. They shouted and laughed as they charged. Gunfire started. Bright plasma bolts flew both ways. Explosions shook the ground. A human screamed somewhere, then another. Lariah crouched low. Her heart pounded. A pirate ran straight at their position. He raised his weapon. The pirate dropped. Another came behind him. Lariah lifted the pistol. Her hands shook. She pointed, pulled the trigger. The gun kicked hard. The sound hurt her ears. The pirate fell backward with a hole in his chest. She stared at the body. Smoke rose from the barrel. Her skin flared bright violet for the first time since her exile. Not with shame, with shock, with something alive. Kai glanced at her. Nice shot. Keep it up. More pirates pushed forward. They threw grenades. One exploded near the tents. Fire spread fast. Kai shouted orders. Fall back to the tunnels. Use the choke points. Humans retreated in good order. They fired as they moved. Lariah ran with them. Inside the mine entrance, they set up new lines. Narrow tunnels made good killing zones. Pirates followed. They poured in like water. Kai tossed Lariah a spare magazine. Reload like this. She copied him. A big pirate with metal plates on his face charged down the tunnel. He swung a huge blade. Lariah's energy blade training kicked in. She stepped aside, smooth and fast. But the tunnel was tight. No room to dance. The blade came close. Kai tackled the pirate from the side. They crashed into the wall. Kai drove his combat knife into the pirate's neck. Blood sprayed. The pirate went still. Kai stood up, breathing hard. You okay? Lariah nodded. Her violet glow stayed bright. They fought for hours. Pirates kept coming. But the humans knew the tunnels. They used traps, falling rocks, hidden explosives. They fought dirty. No honor, just win. At last, the pirates broke. The survivors ran back to their ships. Engines roared. The ships lifted off fast and disappeared into the sky. Silence fell. Smoke hung thick. Bodies lay everywhere. Kai walked through the tunnel. He checked his people. 2 did not move. Lariah followed him. She saw a young human man on the ground. His chest did not rise. She knelt beside him. She touched his face. His skin was already cold. Kai stood next to her. His name was Tomas. Good kid. Wanted to send money home to his sister. Lariah felt tears in her eyes. They glowed softly. I am sorry. Kai looked at her. Not your fault. Pirates hit us before. They'll hit again. But we held. Because we fight together. He offered his hand. Lariah took it. He pulled her up. Come on, he said. We have wounded to move. And Torv will hear about this. He will come harder next time. Lariah looked around at the humans. They helped each other. They carried the dead with care. They patched wounds. No one ran. No one gave up. Her skin glowed brighter violet now. Strong. For the first time since the Grand Conclave, she felt something warm inside her chest. It was small. It was fragile. But it was hope. And it had started because one human had stood beside her. She looked at Kai. He was tired, covered in dust and blood, but his eyes were steady. Thank you, she said quietly. Kai shrugged. Don't thank me yet. This fight isn't over. He turned and walked toward the med tent. Lariah followed. She carried the pistol at her side. She would learn to use it better. She would stand with them, because for the first time in her life, she was not alone. Word of the pirate fight spread fast. Messages flew across secret channels between mining camps. Then they reached bigger ships. Soon the news hit Elithar Prime itself. On the shining crystal screens of the royal palace, images appeared. The spurned princess fighting beside humans. She held a crude slug thrower. Her skin glowed bright violet in the dark tunnels. She looked strong, alive, not broken. Prince Vexar watched the footage in his private chamber. His gold skin flared with anger. He clenched his fists so hard, his crystal rings cracked. She should be dead in the dust, he whispered. Instead, she becomes a hero to primitives. He turned to his advisors. 3 tall Elithari in black robes stood silent. She makes us look weak, Vexar said. If the court sees her win battles the Dominion ignored, they will question my rule. We must end this now. One advisor spoke carefully. Kill her quietly. Blame the humans. Say they murdered her in revenge. Then we have reason to send the fleet to their worlds. Full conquest. No more talk of peace. Vexar smiled. Yes, perfect. Send the Shadow Blades. Elite, silent. No survivors. No traces. Far away on Korath V, the human camp worked to repair damage. They patched walls, fixed generators, buried their dead. Lyria helped where she could. She carried heavy crates. She cleaned weapons. She learned how to reload faster. Kai watched her one evening as the orange sun set behind black rocks. You're different now, he said. Lyria looked at him. How? Before you moved like someone waiting to die. Now you move like someone who wants to live. She touched the pistol at her hip. I killed for the first time here. It felt wrong. Then it felt necessary. I do not want to hide anymore. Kai nodded. Good, because trouble is coming. Bigger trouble. That night, a small scout drone arrived from an old ally of Lyria's. It was damaged and slow, but it carried a message crystal. Lyria held it in her palm. A soft voice spoke inside her mind. Princess, your brother sends the Shadow Blades. They come in 3 days. They will kill everyone. Leave no witnesses. Run if you can. The crystal went dark. Lyria showed it to Kai. He listened without expression. Then he called his team together in the main tent. Shadow Blades, he explained. Best killers the Dominion has. Invisible armor. Energy blades that cut through steel. Fast. Deadly. They don't take prisoners. Mara crossed her arms. How many? Usually 6 to 8, Lyria said. They work in pairs. Silent. They prefer night attacks. Kai looked around the room. We can't run. The miners have families here. This is their home. We fight, but we fight smart. They planned for 2 days straight. Lyria helped with every part. She knew Elithari tactics. She told them how the Shadow Blades moved. Where they liked to strike first. How they used shadows and silence. Kai taught her human ways. We don't duel for honor, he said. We cheat. We trap. We make them pay for every step. They turned the mine into a death trap. They rigged explosives in weak tunnel walls. They set motion sensors with bright flares. They dug hidden pits with sharp spikes at the bottom. They placed false lights to draw enemies into kill zones. Lyria showed them an old Elithari trick. We can use sonic emitters. Low frequency. It hurts our ears less, but it confuses their balance. Makes them slow for a few seconds. Kai grinned. I like it. We'll mix it with flashbangs. Double the mess. On the 3rd night, the sky stayed dark. No stars showed through the thick dust clouds. The camp lights dimmed on purpose. Everyone waited in position. Lyria crouched beside Kai in a high lookout spot. She wore patched human armor now. It was heavy, but it felt safe. Her ancestral energy blade hung at her side. She also carried the slug thrower Kai had given her. They're here, Kai whispered. Shadows moved at the edge of the camp. Too smooth, too quiet. The shadow blades had come. The first pair slipped over the outer wall. Their armor bent light around them. They looked like ghosts. One raised a blade toward the main generator. A hidden sensor clicked. Bright white flares exploded all around them. The sudden light blinded their night vision gear. They froze for one heartbeat. Gunfire roared from the ridges. Bullets hit armor. Sparks flew. One blade dropped. The other vanished into shadow again. More came. They moved fast now, angry. Lariah and Kai ran down to the tunnels. "This way," she said. "They will follow the main path." They did. The blades chased the retreating humans into the mine, exactly where the traps waited. A low hum started. Sonic emitters. Their steps became clumsy. Then flashbangs rolled in. Bright light and loud noise filled the tunnel. Humans fired from cover. Short, controlled bursts. Pirates had been loud and wild. These killers were precise, but the traps evened the fight. One blade reached Lariah. His energy blade hummed blue. He swung fast. Lariah blocked with her own blade. Sparks flew. She stepped back. Her training came alive. She moved smooth and quick, but the tunnel was narrow. No room for full spins. The blade pressed hard. His strikes were strong. Lariah blocked again and again. Her arms burned. Kai appeared behind the blade. He fired point blank into the back of the knee joint. Armor cracked. The blade fell to one knee. Lariah drove her blade through the weak spot at the neck. The killer went still. She breathed hard. Her skin glowed bright violet again. More fighting echoed through the tunnels. Explosions, screams, then silence. Kai touched his comm. "Report." Voices answered one by one. "3 down here. 2 more. We got the last pair." All 8 shadow blades dead. The camp still stood. But the fight was not over. High above, a Dominion warship dropped into orbit. Prince Vexar's flagship, huge, armed with weapons that could burn a city from space. Vexar stood on the bridge. He watched the surface through a viewscreen. Smoke rose from the camp. Bodies lay in the dust. "She lives," he said. "Again." He turned to his captain. "Prepare the broadcast array. I will speak to the entire Dominion." On the ground, Lariah and Kai climbed to the highest ridge. They looked up at the stars. The big ship blocked half the sky. A voice boomed across every comm channel. Vexar's voice, cold, proud. "People of the Dominion, my sister, the traitor Lariah, has sided with humans. She kills our warriors. She spits on our honor. Single combat. On the surface of Korath 6. Face me, sister, or watch your human friends burn from orbit." Silence fell over the camp. Lariah stared at the ship, then at Kai. He met her eyes. "You don't have to do this." "I do," she said. "If I run, he destroys everything. If I fight, maybe the court sees the truth." Kai nodded slowly. "Then we do it together. You fight. I stand beside you. No tricks from him. No orbital fire." Lariah took a deep breath. Her skin flared white for a moment, brighter than violet. A sign few Elithari ever saw. She activated the comm. Her voice rang clear across space. "I accept, brother. Come down, alone. No guards, no weapons from the ship. We duel as the old laws demand, and the Dominion will watch." Vexar laughed. "So be it. I come." The camp waited. Humans checked weapons. Miners stood ready. Lariah sharpened her blade. "Whatever happens," he said, "you are not alone." Lariah looked at him. For the first time, she smiled. Small, real. "I know." The stars waited. The duel was coming. The landing field on Korath V was flat and wide. Dust swirled in slow circles under the hot orange sky. A single Dominion shuttle came down first. It touched ground softly. The door opened. Prince Vexar stepped out alone. He wore shining golden armor. A tall helmet with a crystal crest covered his head. In his hands he held 2 curved energy blades. They hummed with blue light. His skin glowed bright gold. He looked every bit the future ruler. Behind him, the huge flagship stayed in low orbit. Its weapons stayed silent. For now. Every screen in the Dominion watched. From crystal palaces to distant mining colonies, millions of eyes waited. On the other side of the field, Lariah stood ready. She wore simple human armor patched with metal plates. Her ancestral energy blade hung at her left hip. The slug thrower Kai had given her rested in a holster on her right thigh. A small combat knife was strapped to her leg. Her skin glowed steady violet. No fear showed on her face. Kai stood a few steps behind her. He wore his scarred power armor. His plasma repeater hung across his chest. He carried no blade. He would not interfere unless Vexar broke the rules. But he would be ready. Miners and human fighters watched from the edges. They held weapons low. No one spoke. The wind carried the only sound. Vexar walked forward until he stood 20 paces away. He raised one blade in salute. "Sister," he said. His voice carried across the open ground. "You shame our blood, but today you die with some honor. Face me. End this." Lariah stepped forward. "I shame nothing. You shame our people with greed and lies. The Dominion can be better. I will show them." Vexar laughed. "Show them? With human tricks and dirt? Let us begin." He moved first. Fast. His blade spun in smooth arcs. Light flashed. He closed the distance in seconds. Lariah drew her energy blade. It flared white. Metal clashed against energy. Sparks flew. She blocked high, then low. Her movements were graceful. Years of royal training showed. But Vexar was stronger. His strikes pushed her back, step by step. She dodged a slash that would have cut her in half. She countered with a quick thrust. Vexar twisted away. His blade grazed her shoulder. Armor cracked. A thin line of blood appeared. Her skin flared brighter. From the side, Kai watched. His hands stayed steady. He whispered into his calm. "Stay calm. She knows what she's doing." Vexar pressed harder. He spun and struck from every angle. Lariah blocked most, but one hit landed on her leg. She stumbled. Pain shot through her. She gritted her teeth. "You are weak," Vexar said. "Always were. Soft heart, soft mind." Lariah answered with action. She feinted left, then struck right. Her blade hit his arm guard. A crack appeared in the gold armor. Vexar hissed in surprise. He stepped back. Then he smiled. His free hand moved to his belt. A small device clicked. A hidden neural disruptor. A wave of invisible force shot toward Lariah. It would freeze her muscles, make her helpless. Kai saw it first. He moved without thought. He jumped in front of her. The disruptor wave hit him full force. His body locked. He fell to his knees, then to the ground. His armor sparked. Smoke rose from the joints. Lariah screamed. "Kai!" Vexar laughed. "See, your human pet dies for you. Pathetic." Something broke inside Lariah. Not sadness, rage. Pure and bright. Her skin exploded into blinding white light. The legendary star flare. A state only the greatest Elethari warriors reached in the oldest stories. Light poured from her like a sun. It burned the eyes of everyone watching. Even Vexar raised an arm to shield his face. She moved, faster than before, stronger. Her blade sang through the air. She struck Vexar's weapon arm. The energy blade flew from his hand. She struck again. His other blade shattered. Pieces fell to the dust. Vexar backed away. Fear showed on his face for the first time. "Impossible," he whispered. Lariah advanced. Her light dimmed just enough to see. She raised her blade high. Vexar fell to his knees. "Mercy," he said. "I yield, I yield." Lariah stopped. The light faded slowly. Her skin returned to violet, but brighter than ever. She lowered her blade. "You live," she said, "but you will never rule." She turned to the sky. Her voice rang out strong. "People of the Dominion, you have seen. My brother cheated. He used forbidden weapons in sacred combat. He tried to murder me and my friend. But I stand. I stand for peace, for strength that protects, not destroys. I claim my place, not as ruler over you, but as one who will serve the truth." Silence hung for a long moment. Then cheers rose from the miners, from the humans, from hidden speakers across the empire. Some nobles on Elithar Prime stood up in their halls. They clapped. Slowly at first, then louder. The high matriarchs watched from their thrones. Matriarch Solara stood. Her voice came over every channel. "Lariah is restored. Her title returns. Her rights return. Prince Vexar is stripped of succession. He will face judgment." Vexar stayed on his knees. Guards from his own ship came down. They took him in chains. He did not fight. Lariah walked to Kai. He lay still. She knelt beside him. Mara ran over with the medkit. She checked his pulse. "He's alive," Mara said. "Tough bastard. The disruptor hit his armor hard, but it took most of the shock. He'll wake up sore." Lariah touched Kai's face. "Thank you," she whispered. His eyes opened slowly. He groaned. "Did we win?" Lariah smiled. Real, warm. "Yes, we won." Shuttles came down from the Dominion ship. Not to fight, to help. They brought doctors, supplies, orders to evacuate the human miners with full honors. No more chains, no more overseers. Lariah stood on the landing platform as the first transport loaded. Kai sat beside her on a crate. His armor was off. Bandages covered his chest. He looked tired, but alive. "You go back now," he said. "To the capital. Fix things." Lariah looked at him. "Will you come with me?" Kai raised an eyebrow. "To a fancy palace full of glowing aliens who hate my smell?" She laughed softly. "They will learn, and I need someone I trust beside me, someone who stands when no one else will." Kai thought for a moment. Then he shrugged. "Someone's got to keep you out of trouble. Might as well be me." He stood up slowly. Lariah offered her hand. He took it. They walked toward the shuttle together. Behind them, the miners waved. Mara saluted. The camp lights shone bright against the dark. Above, the flagship turned slowly. It prepared to leave orbit. On Elithar Prime, the crystal spires waited. The court waited. The future waited. Lariah looked up at the stars. Her skin glowed soft silver blue again, the color of hope renewed. She glanced at Kai. He gave her a small grin. "Ready?" he asked. "Yes," she said. They stepped onto the ramp together, and the galaxy began to change. Because sometimes hope needs only one warrior to stand beside it and refuse to let it die.